I got sent home early yesterday. I got sent home early today by the same person. I'm telling you, she's a bully. Isn't funny. She needs to understand that just because she's a mother and got children doesn't mean that she can come in the store, you know, disrespecting people, talking to them like everybody's beneath her. She has no respect.
Oh my, so that is the defendant in the fast food stabbing case. She recorded that video for her social media after her manager sent her home for the second time. This is the manager, Jennifer Harris. She's also the victim in this case. She was stabbed to death, and police say it was by that employee. You just saw ranting there. Next witness up is the first responder who arrested the employee. Let's go back in.
And at some point in time, did you get a call around 9 a.m.?
Yes, I did.
And do you know the nature of that call?
Was a stabbing in progress.
And what did you do at that point?
I responded, lights and sirens, and then arrived on scene.
And was that location McDonald's at 179219 Mile?
It was.
And when you got there, what did you see?
Saw employees waving me down. I saw them waving and pointing to it would be to my left. I looked over to the left. I saw a black male pointing at a female that was located near a pickup truck. She was kind of not lying on the ground, but she was on her knees, rear end type of thing.
And how were you dressed that day?
Fully dressed, police uniform, badge, gun.
Did you have a body cam?
I did.
Have you previously watched that body cam video?
I did.
And based on your observations, does that recording accurately show what you saw that day?
Yes.
And is that a fair and accurate depiction of everything that you experienced that day?
I would say, yeah.
People, I understand there's a stipulation, but I moved for the foundation of what I believe to be Exhibit 1, Officer McLaughlin's body cam.
No objection.
Very good. Exhibit 1 will be admitted by stipulation, and you may publish to the court.
Thank you.
Do you want to have your client move over so she can see?
We appreciate that, Judge. Thank you.
This is not the
Thank you.
But let me just be clear. This has nothing. It's not depicting the incident. It's after the incident.
That's correct. And actually, Judge, at the point where he may enter McDonald's, I'm having the video stopped, and we'll just go on with testimony.
Thank you.
At the record, we're going to start the video at around 2:12.
So this lady right here, when the driver, I just got my food, and out of nowhere, the person who passed me my food just started getting stabbed up in the neck with the kitchen knife. So I said, "Ma'am, please stop. Everybody in there running crazy. So I jump out, I said, "Ma'am, stop." She turned around. She turned around, she looked at me. I let a shot go. She runs out here. I come around here from this side. She falls on the ground. I tell her, don't move until the police get there. So I just don't want to be here. But I still have my truck blocking the job.
Hey, give me gloves, please. Not my car. You got it. I need nice. She went through a suspect. He farted. Is there victim inside?
Stop at 421. We're stopping at 421. Sir, so at this point, can you just describe what we just watched?
I pulled into the parking lot. Like I said, I saw employees frantically waving and pointing. I looked to my right. I exited my car. I pulled my sidearm. I saw what I confirmed was the witness pointing. I assume the black female that was on the ground, kind of in the sitting position next to a pickup truck, was our suspect from the stabbing. As I approached her, I could see that she had some blood on her. Got her on her stomach, and I handcuffed her.
Do you see that female in courtroom today?
Yes, I do.
And if you could just point at her and identify her by a piece of clothing?
She is on the far left of where I'm sitting. She has brown or beige garb on.
All right, identifying Afeni Muhammad, the defendant in this matter, the employee at McDonald's accused of murdering her manager. And we know she was upset with her manager. She took to social media and ranted about it. And now that little video is going to become a piece of evidence the prosecution can use against her. Let's talk about how they'll do that. Let's bring in prosecuting attorney Matt Roberts, the chief trial attorney in the Muskegon County, Michigan DA's office. Matt, that video where she talks about and I forget her exact words. I'd have to have us re-rack the video and look at it again, but about someone's going to do something about it, I believe is what she said. When she's mad about the manager, somebody's going to do something that this is not okay. She kept saying this is not funny, that she's being sent home again, saying that this manager is acting like a mom and not treating them as equals. What are your thoughts about how the state can use that little video against Ms. Muhammad?
Well, certainly it goes to her intent, right, to prove murder, and certainly it sounds like she's charged with first degree premeditated murder. You need to show that evidence of intent, and her words really speak for themselves. The fact that she's taken to social media, as you said, and described in at least some detail that somebody is going to do something, and then those actions are carried out. It really goes right to the heart of that intent issue. Just an absolutely fantastic piece of evidence for the prosecution to have in this case, along with the testimony there of that hero who tried to stop this situation and really just acted amazing under the circumstances here. It's phenomenal, really.
Yeah, he sure did. What a good Samaritan that gentleman is, you're right. I mean, how rare is it, Matt, for you to have both of these components in a case? You have the video evidence from the defendant's own mouth, as you said, that will support the intent. And then you also have this good Samaritan who holds her there and is a witness.
Well, it's really sort of the dream scenario for a prosecution to have in a case like this. Obviously, you hate it to be under these circumstances. This poor woman tragically lost her life for nothing, certainly for nothing worth getting injured or killed for. So it's a great evidence for the prosecution to have. Really fantastic case for them.
Sure is. Attorney Matt Roberts, thank you for your time and analysis this morning. We'll see you soon. We'll be right back.
She's a bully. I'm telling you. She's a bully. She brings a lot of negative energy in there. She always panic when there's a lot going on, and then she try to manipulate that and make it seem like we ain't doing something right, but we are working really hard and doing great. It's just the fact that she panicked, and I caught her a few times making a mistake, and she tried to hurry up and play it off. You know, nobody's perfect. It's McDonald's. It happens. You know what I mean?
Oh my, so that was the defendant, Afeni Muhammad, taking to social media right before the incident in question, where her manager at McDonald's, Jennifer Harris, was stabbed to death. There's a picture of the victim right there. Let's go back into the courtroom now. We're hearing the first responder's testimony about arriving on the scene. He just identified the defendant in the courtroom. Let's go back in.
By the defendant? What was the next thing you did?
I picked her up. I started a prelim search of her, make sure she didn't have any weapons on her. Another officer came to me, handed over her to him, basically so he can finish the custodial search. After that, I walked over to the initial witness who was pointing at her. I believe that he was the one that most likely threw the shot. I walked up to him. I asked him if he had a firearm on him. He was talking to another officer. The other officer informed me that he has the weapon, it's secured, and then he gave me a brief statement of what he saw.
And then what was your next step?
After that, I walked back over to the officer that I handed the suspect over to. He was explaining to me that she might have not a knife, but like a cutting instrument. And he needed gloves. So I handed him some gloves I had in my pocket.
And after you did that, what did you do next?
The next step after that, I was heading in to see if we could get anything out of the victim or her status.
And were you able to see inside and locate the victim?
Did walk inside. Officer Hawkins was applying some medical care to her neck area. I located her. She was on the ground in a pool of blood. Looked like she was drawing her last breaths. Just told them to continue to put pressure, and then I walked back out.
Did you see any wounds or injuries on her?
Not that I recall. I knew she had one on her neck, but Officer Hawkins was applying pressure to her neck.
Was there anyone else other than the victim and Officer Hawkins and yourself inside that area when you were there?
There was another employee to my left, but I don't know what the employee was doing.
And what were your duties after that?
I walked back out, tried to get a hold of my shift commander so he could order the DB here. He responded that they were already en route. Made sure that she was secure. She was put in the back of my police car. Walked back to Officer Krasuski. Had her ID. Eventually checked her ID through my computer. Make sure she was attached into my computer area. Shortly after that, I walked out. The Detective Bureau started to arrive. We wanted to get them updated. My sergeant, my shift supervisor arrived. I wanted him to get updated. Then eventually started collecting some witness statements.
And all that occurred in the McDonald's in East Point on 9 Mile Road?
Yes, sir.
No further questions at this time.
Cross-examination.
Yeah, Judge. Oh, sorry. I'm just saying.
So, Officer, I'm just thinking of if there are any questions that I have for you. And generally speaking, I know Mr. Palapu asked you about your duties. Other than what you indicated on direct examination, after you had updated your sergeant or the detectives that had arrived, your only job task then was to collect statements.
Collect witnesses, statements, any type of look for any evidence if I could locate any. Just generally just make sure the scene is secure. But everything really.
Basically do the directives of whatever your detective or sergeant had told you about.
Yes.
Do you recall the specific individuals that you interviewed that day? Or would you have to refer to your report for that?
I have to refer to my report, but I did speak directly to two other witnesses that were located inside the McDonald's, kind of like a lobby area over, I would say, to the right of the front or the side main doors.
And I wanted to make sure I heard you correctly. You said two other individuals? Two. And now, the time that you had collected those interviews, and again, this is me just kind of clarifying what you said on direct versus what you and I just talked about. Was that before or after your sergeant and the detectives arrived?
After.
Was that per their directive, or was that something that you did on your own accord?
I believe I did that on my own accord.
And that's because you knew that they were in the location in the sense of inside the McDonald's, meaning those two individuals, or were you told that there were individuals in there that you, and that then brought you to, maybe I should go talk to them?
I believe it was just my decision to go in and check, make sure that if there's anybody in there, I saw them and I approached them.
Now I'm going to back up. Prior to going into the McDonald's, had anyone, if you were aware, cleared the McDonald's of any other individual besides either EMT or police personnel?
I'm not aware of that.
The individuals that, again, we were just talking about the two that were over to the right of the entrance, how long after your arrival did you talk to them? Do you recall?
I do not.
Would you say it was less than a half hour or more than a half hour?
I'd say probably less.
And do you, kind of the same question, but just a little bit shorter time period, once your sergeant or the detectives arrived, how long after do you think you talked to those individuals?
Maybe within 10 minutes.
And from your recollection, you don't remember talking to any other individuals besides those two? Or at least collecting witness statements?
Not. I collected 2 witness statements for sure. I talked to a lot of people, I'm assuming, but I don't recall.
Your police report, though, or any report that you would have written would have been accurate?
Yes, sir.
It would have been complete, meaning you would have collected and entered everything that you collected?
Yes.
And that would have included any statements that
Yes.
would have been accurately made?
Yes.
No further questions.
Any redirect?
Just briefly, you had mentioned that part of your duties is looking for evidence. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You had said earlier that initially, when you got to the scene, someone had mentioned a cutter, a box cutter.
Yes.
And
Your Honor, I'm going to object at this time. I think this would be outside the scope of my cross.
he asked about evidence. And so he's talking about the thing that he looks for in the waste of evidence.
Your Honor, I mean, I would have asked in the sense of anything that he collected. I mean, we didn't dive into, again, any specific evidence that he collected. We just talked about statements. I don't think somebody asked him about his duties would then allow them to go into something specific, where it came from or what it was.
I'm going to allow it. I do think you opened the door with the evidence, so I will allow you to explore that.
Yes, Your Honor. Wait, you said at some point in time you went into the location and saw the victim on the floor in a pool of blood, correct?
Yes.
And were you able to see anything that would have inflicted wounds?
I knew this was inflicted by a cutting instrument, mainly a light knife or something similar.
And at the scene, in this scene, did you see a knife?
Eventually, I saw a knife over by the drive-through window.
And what type of knife was that?
Like a kitchen knife, the blackish handle.
And how large was that kitchen knife?
I'd say larger than probably 6 inches.
No further questions, thank you.
All right, let's pause this testimony right here. I'm going to bring in our law enforcement analyst guest, Sunny Slaughter, to talk about what she's thinking about as we're watching all of this testimony together. Sunny, good morning to you. Tell us, please, what's on your mind as you're taking in all of these witnesses and what they're sharing before the court.
Good morning, Julie. Thank you for having me, as always. This is such a disturbing case, and it really goes to show how quickly something can happen and how quickly others can be involved in a murder, like the witness who was just going to get a sandwich and he happened upon this murder that was happening that he could see through the drive-through window. And thank goodness he was armed at the time, that he could actually step in to try to get the offender's attention and stop the heinousness of it and to detain her. The officers that are there, you know, they see critical incidents happen every single day, all day long. This officer was at this crime and probably went straight to another one. So I think it's really important that we are seeing this. I've been watching, of course, all morning long, listening to the testimony. And this young lady, her video evidence on TikTok was really revealing. So I think the state has a lot of evidence and information to work with regarding this particular heinous, and I mean absolutely heinous murder. She just kind of called it out herself, you know. So I don't think she can claim insanity because she's just saying, you know, she was being bullied. So I think this is good testimony, and I look forward to hearing what the defense is going to say about her actions.
Me too, Sonny. You bring up such a great point regarding sanity. You know, and if we didn't have this video, then one might wonder, would that be the route the defense team may go? But to your point, which is an excellent one, we see this woman walking through her thought process, her anger process, explaining to all of her TikTok followers, or her Instagram, I'm sorry, I thought it was TikTok, Instagram. Risen Phoenix is her handle. She's talking about how this manager bullies her and treats her like a child, talks about how the manager's a mom and that she and the other employees are being treated like her children and not like the adults that they are. And she talks about how somebody's going to do something about it. And right there, that language goes to premeditation, as you know, Sonny. So out the window, I think, goes the insanity defense. Tell me, you know, when you think about somebody chronicling what they're going to do, you've seen a lot of cases, Sonny, and you've served in law enforcement for a lot of years. How rare is it that you have somebody actually going through and recording, creating evidence of their intentions?
You know, Julie, now more than ever, we actually see this in social media happening. We see individuals with their guns and their money talking about what they're going to do, almost explaining their side of the case before it becomes a case or after it is a case. A lot of times we are seeing this documented evidence out loud for the world to see about things that people are thinking, and then how their actions go from thinking, which is the premeditation of it we're talking about, into full-blown this is what I'm doing and this is what gets done. This is how they get caught. This is how we actually know what they were thinking ahead of time. We're seeing more and more people go to social media and kind of put out their manifesto in a way. It might not be the full-blown manifesto, but it's enough of what they are thinking, why they are coming to this rationale to justify their actions.
Exactly, Sonny. And I know you know this. This defendant better believe that these police have already gone through and downloaded everything on her social media and created a record of it. They're going to pour through all of that to use at trial. So my dear friend Mike Manco always says you can't erase cyberspace. It's so true. Isn't it? I know. Great
right.
line.
That is absolutely right. I love that.
Yeah, great line. He used to use it doing speeches, educational speeches. We both worked in the district attorney's office together and would talk to children at grade schools about how you have to be so cognizant of what you're posting. It's out there forever and ever.